Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. Um, I am just getting everything going. It's the first time I figured out a workaround with you guys seeing my face and me going through and talking with you guys. There's a lot of stuff going on here this week, and I'm pretty impressed with what is going on overall. One of the things I want to kind of go over is uh, the charts, and then I'm going to bring on a couple people. One's going to be Ralphie is here if he's able to make it, and then another guy. His name is Brinks. He's actually a what do I want to say? He's a purple vetter with vetter, but he's actually a part of a community uh, that is called Tribe 100 at X. It's actually where vetter was established and came from. So before that all happened and vetter was established, we see that they already had a bunch of ninjas and a bunch of people who were really good at betting. So we're gonna bring them on. We're gonna bring them on, and we're gonna go over some things that would be good to look at when you're looking at projects that are basically launching, but at the same time, you want to be able to get in on them and kind of weigh, because he really gets on, or he pretty much catches a lot of launches, and so I want to bring him on and have him talk about some of the stuff that he's looking at and some of the stuff that he's checking out. So yeah, we're gonna go on that. This should be coming on around 12 o'clock. One of the things that I forgot to mention here, actually, let me change out so here real quick. And I'm going to go over the charts here and kind of see what the markets are probably going to do. We have a new month, and so the beginning of the month are a good. What do I want to say? They're basically a good indication of what the rest of the month's going to do. So one of the things that I try to look at is, like, is it going up for the week or the first couple of days, and then, or is it going to go down first, where we're looking for a demand zone? Those are one of the things that we look to gauge maybe which way the market's going to go for the month or the weekly. And since we have a new week and a new month, we're going to look at some of those charts and see what's going on with them. So one of the ways that I have the ability now to be able to see you guys, and the reason why I actually do this is I don't actually have my trading computer and a couple other computers with cameras. So because I don't want anybody looking at me or be able to connect to me, right, while I'm trading. So one of the ways that I do it, that you guys are able to see me, is I've sent myself like a little link so I can come on as a guest within my own show, so you guys can actually see me. So kind of work around. The reason why I'm saying that is I have an echo constantly going on every time I speak. So for you guys, sometimes if you hear me like saying weird things or something like that, or maybe I catch myself or go a little bit slower, it's only because it's messing me up right now. It's my first time doing it. So sooner or later I'm going to get used to it, and then I'll be able to communicate and talk with you much more efficiently. And my word usages and my uh, dialect, I don't know how to explain it. Be able to set up the. Oh, sorry about that. All right, guys. So I'm gonna changing up some stuff here real quick. 80. Hey, we're gonna go over 80 XRP, ADA, Solana, SOL. There we go. DO. It's really interesting. I really was noticing a lot of. We have a lot of stable coins out there, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the Fed does, because the reality is they're going to be coming down on a lot of these things. So we'll see what happens. The other thing I want to line up is this is such a good time to be able to be dollar cost averaging into some major projects that you really like. I know that I'm doing it. Give me 1 second. I'm kind of getting this setting this stuff set up for you. When I launched it, I guess it shut down some of my other stuff because I have all my trading charts up. There's a lot of them. I'm communicating with Telegram as well as Skype and a few other stuff. So I guess it was too much. So it kind of shut this stuff that I had already preset. So I want to apologize about that. I'm pretty prepared. There we go. And then I'm going to. Good thing I got nobody really watching, at least right now. Here we go now. Excellent. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and go into the charts here. So the first thing that we're going to check out, obviously, is Bitcoin. Before we go into that, actually, let's check out the S&P 500. And we go from there. S&P and the NASDAQ. Here we go. Here we are. All right, let's check the S&P 500. Here we are. So we can see here that it did bounce off of this 400 period moving average. And we did see the sell-off. We are putting in, let's just go to the daily here real quick. Okay. Let's actually start with the monthly. So the monthly, we just started off. We went up and we went down. We're kind of going sideways here. This is kind of a indecision candle as of right now. We really don't know. We know though that the candle for last month was definitely a bearish candle, and we can see here that it is definitely it sold off hard. We still have on a monthly chart, I would say that the 3250-ish area, we could see a bounce off of this area here, but really right in this area on a monthly chart, this is really more or less between that 3250 to the 2919. This area right here might have some resistance, but I really doubt it. So let's go and check the weekly. Here we go, guys. The weekly is pretty similar. This area right here, there is basically a bunch of selling or a lot of buying here. So this area here of support has pretty much been eaten up. As you guys can see right here, this next spot is right here. You have a nice little spot right here. but even then, it's kind of about half the zone has been eaten up, so we'll see what happens there. And then from in this area here, a lot of this zone has already been eaten up too. So, like I said, it's on the weekly, we're definitely we could come all the way down to the 222 within the next week. I want to say week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. We do have some major SMAs though. So right in the zone, you can see here you have the 200 period moving average sitting on the S&P 500 on this daily zone right here. So something you do need to pay attention to. Like I said here, this is that point that if it goes below, we're probably going to see it come back down to this area or down to the 2400 within a month or two. If we really start to see a bunch of sell-off and people start to get freaked out, I could see us even coming down even further or quicker. So something just to pay attention to. In additionally to that, let's going to look at the daily. Now the daily kind of is the same way. You can see here that a lot of these zones have already been hit, right? So this zone got hit by this zone got hit by this zone, right? So then this area right here, right, you have these zones that have already been taking up the buyers. So we come to the next spot, right? Here, this is a reaction off of this zone, and this is a reaction off of this zone. So again, this area here, and I wouldn't call it any area of real support. Down here, let's go ahead and go. Right here, this zone got taken out by this zone where we saw this push up. Then this zone was taken up by this zone or by this wick area. And so it's been eaten. And or when I say eaten, I mean the buyers have been absorbed. And then this zone, again, comes down to the last little bit of this zone and is basically absorbing a lot of these buyers here. So when I'm looking at this area, I'm definitely looking more for the, I'm looking for movement, right? I want to see big movements out of an area. And so if it's already been absorbed, we're really not going to see a big push, especially in a down market. Because the biggest thing is this, is in a down market, your demand zones are not going to stay as strong, whereas your supply zone are definitely going to hold on the majority of the time. So you're always going to more or less look to a higher time frame supply zone, because if you stay at a lower time frame, it'll blow through those. But let's say a 4-hour or an 8-hour zone or even a daily zone, it's going to have a very hard time. And since we're coming down and we're rallying back up, right, even though the bear market is down, or coming down, right, you want to look for the support or resistant areas with like SMAs within it, or if you have a Bollinger Bands, or if you use return to mean, whatever indicators that you use, those are your primary thoughts that you want to look at, because those things are really going to let you know what's going on. Here we go right here as well. So, like I said, this area right here was absorbed on the daily part. This area has been absorbed. This right here, this little spot, I don't see it really holding right here. I could maybe, but I see 2 wicks here. It's probably not going to, and not even a good wick. I'm looking at here. This area was absorbed by this. This was absorbed by this. So on a daily, the 2179, it very much could come through here within a month, just because there's really no support. And this is the bottom of COVID, when everything sold off, and then we saw a rally. So something to be paying attention to. Now, one of the things that I think is really important is that whenever you're looking at the market as well, you want to be paying attention to the the view of the market of how it works. So I'm going to point out some here so you guys can sit here and see it because this is actually pretty cool. All right, so the markets typically will fall to previous highs. Okay, so here's a previous high, or here's a previous high right here. You can see that the market came and found support around the previous high. Same thing, pushes up, comes back, and finds another support in this area. So since we've had some major, and I'm going to bring this up here, we come down again and retest this area to this previous high. This is important to point out. Primary reason why is because it's been tested now a few times, right? And the more times that it's retested, it typically becomes weaker. So it's important to understand that when we come back and we test this, we very much could push through again and come down to this 2,000 mark on the S&P. So something just to be paying attention to. Let's check out the NASDAQ here real quick. Now the NASDAQ is very volatile, more so than the S&P 500. S&P 500 is more like a chill, relaxed side of the stocks. The NASDAQ is almost like the hyper little brother. It's just like all over the place. So it's important to understand that. So when you're interacting with the NASDAQ, you understand it's all over the place and it's going to move. Now, overall, Bitcoin has been following the NASDAQ pretty closely. So if we start to see a major sell-off big time within the NASDAQ, we're going to see a bigger sell-off within crypto. Now, I think it's about a 1 to 5, 1 to 4, 1 to 5 ratio of crypto. So it's something to be paying attention because the correlation is much more exaggerated within Bitcoin and Ethereum because we see major drops within it. Whereas I think the NASDAQ, I'm almost positive, I think it's like 25%. Give me 1 second, I'll check. Let's check this out from the previous low here. Yeah, so it's we're ranging 23, 25% here. Let me see if I can put it to 25. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna put this in here. It's not gonna let me. Change. You can see here, nah, it's actually, let's try this one more time. 5, let's try 30%. So a little bit, let's do 32. So we're about 32%. Actually, I think it's even higher. So we're about the 32% mark of a retracement of the NASDAQ. Now, like I said, I'm going to point this out here on a monthly chart, that we're at some areas here of support. Like down in this area right here, you can definitely see there are some buyers here. So we could see a sideways movement here, but I'm pretty sure we are going to have some type of support, simply because this is the 50-period moving average on the monthly. So it's not going to just blow right through this area. On top of that, you have a demand zone, which is sitting strong right here. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that, because this is being area. And so we could see some type of stability down in this area, which, if this correlates with Bitcoin, I think that's that 12,000 mark that I was pointing out. So yeah, pay attention to that. And if we look at it, this is at 10,000, it's 12,000. So I believe that is about 20% of a drop from down into this area. So considering, and now this is the NASDAQ, and like I've said, we see that correlation, right? That's going back and forth. So we want to be able to make sure that we're paying attention to that correlation within it, right? So like I said, we might see, if it's 20%, man, like I said, it's about a 1 to 4, 1 to 5 ratio. So that would be, like I said, these are all just estimates. This isn't like an exact science. But like I said, we're sitting at that 20,000, 20%, almost 100% of its value. Oh, man, I don't even think about that. But I mean, I think that 10,000, 12,000 mark might be an area of holding, like I've said, like I've brought up. And that would be in conjunction with what this is going on here. So then let's go ahead and check out the weekly. Our weekly zone. And guys, if you have any questions, I'm pop them in the comment section, and I'll be able to help you guys out. All right, so let's check this out here. This is our weekly zone, our monthly zone, our weekly. Let me check it out right here. Could see something right here. Here. In case you guys want to know what that means, that is right here. Over here. All right. So there we go. We're looking at this as well. Oh, that's why. Give me 1 second. Move on. I'm realizing I am not plugged in. So let me go and get you guys plugged in here real quick, so that I don't fall off. All right. So apologize about that. It's first time doing this. Forgive me. I'm a little bit shaky here. Still working things out. All right. So we're seeing us also right here, and I, come on, where is this? There we are. All right, so let's go and pull this up. Like I said, after that, man, because everything's been eaten up, or a it responds after a zone gets hit. So meaning this is a reaction from this area right here, or from this zone right here. So this is bouncing off of this. Now it did create a new high, so it might hold, but if it's been, so, let's see. Yeah, guys, so these are some of the zones I'm looking at on the weekly as well. Let me go and point this out here. Let me make this. I'm gonna make this a 4 so that it designates for me a monthly zone. That's how I'm able to sit there and go through them. And I can put other things in this way. But yeah, it's something that we need to be paying attention to. As you guys can see, we have our 50. If we go to the weekly, we have the 200 period moving average sitting right here. Now, the only thing that I'm hesitant is that we didn't see a huge sell-off to this area right here. We stopped right before, and then we rallied out. So it's a big issue that I'm having, right? Because I would like to see a major push into a zone. I don't like seeing it stop right before. Like for example, see how this area right here lines up with this zone right here? You see, well, here we go. We saw it came down, right? And then we saw it bounce back up. That's what I like to see, right? Because you can get a good reaction off of that area and then be able to capitalize on it. But when price comes right before it plays, right before it kind of goes in, a lot of times it'll push through. So I think the only thing that's really going to hold this is maybe that 200 period moving average and the 50 moving average, because on a monthly we have fairly decent, a clean wick, but not necessarily on the weekly, because you can see it's been absorbed and it is a reaction off of this. So we saw it push up from here, came down, found support, found buyers stepped in, pushed it up. You came back, found more buyers, and pushed up. Now, this area has been absorbed, those buyers have. So now when it's coming down to this area again, it very much could push through. So I'm looking at this right here. So you guys can see my train of thinking. Again, right here, we have the 400 period moving average. Let's see what sits in this area, which is nice. We have the 89 to 100 period moving average. So this is something to be paying attention to, because we know that 100 period moving average is a strong average. You know that the institutions definitely use that as a buying point or even a reversal point. So make sure that you guys are paying attention to that, okay? Here we go. Now let's check out that daily. For the daily, this is the on the first day of the month. I was almost for a second. I was like, is it the first or is it the second? Yesterday you saw that we really didn't put in much of a seller wick, guys. So making sure that there might be even a retracement back into this area to get more shorters or sellers, right? Because those are the things that they do. They want to stop you out, right? They're trying to get you guys to think, hey, we are going to go short. And then what you do is you come and you go short right here, and then they buy it up. And then they stop you out here, right? So wherever you guys are set. So I'm telling you, look more for a retracement up in this area, right? We're showing some indecision today. We might even come up here to this area. short position. Use this little guy over here somewhere. Right, just simply because we have the moving average sitting in the zone, and we also have the 20 coming down. So something to be paying attention to on more of a shorter time frame, making sure that you're using your respective time frames in which you use to get into the market on a lower time frame to lower your risk. Okay, I put these daily zones here specifically because I'm looking for a bigger, like more powerful area, right? And then I then shrink my risk down to on like the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, and that's where I'm looking to actually get in at those zones, primarily finding smaller zones in those areas. But everybody has their respective time frames. Everybody has their different type of indicators. Just make sure you keep it simple. Keep it very simple. Here we go. As you guys can see here, it's the same thing what I've been talking about. It's pretty much the same thing. Yep. Yeah, guys. All right, so let's check out Bitcoin and see what's actually going on with it. This. And let's go ahead and put up, actually realize I haven't done that yet. Let's go ahead. That's what I was going to do here. I'm going to make this a 4. There we go. I'm going to grab a little bit of tea here, pardon me. If any of you guys are really good at designing stuff, maybe make me up a Pedro Garcia crypto analysis cup. That'd be cool. Probably be getting one here real soon myself. We're definitely seeing a retracement up to these moving averages, definitely on the 8-hour chart. Coming up to retest that 8 and 50. There it is. And look at that, man. I hit it perfect, that weekly 8 moving average. Like we showed earlier on Monday, like paying attention to that retracement here because we, like I said, we definitely could see some stuff showing or dropping off at this point. Now let's go into Bitcoin, BTC. There's a guy, Decrypt, it's called the Decrypt news source. He has his own podcast, and I really like listening to it every morning. So he's posting and asked all the technical analysis guys post a what do we think? So I jumped on it and I posted it on his YouTube, or not YouTube, his Twitter account. So they're real cool. Now you can see here that we are definitely selling off at this point from that weekly. We still haven't finished fully. Now we have that new month here. So you can see we did come up, we did tap, or we didn't tap, but we almost hit that 50 moving average. Now it looks like we're starting to sell off. So making sure that we understand that point is probably going to be coming up to get retested. There are orders sitting there, and so institutions are always starved for orders. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Okay. So they'll probably come around and hit this and come back down. So which means now this is the monthly. So we might see a down, come back up, hit this 50, and then see it sell off. So that's a potential opportunity for you guys to take advantage of. Let's go. This is for excellent. Let's check out the weekly here. Like I said, we definitely started selling off. Remember, guys, I had the red and the green support. I told you guys, make sure if we go below that green, the green line or the green support, which I had, that pay attention for retracement back up to it, right? So make sure that you're not just selling short. If you guys are short and we start to retrace back into this area, making sure that you're ready for that. All right, let's go ahead and check it out on the daily. So this is where we sit. So we pushed this area, we came back up, we're retracing into the 8 and 20. You can see here that we got I call it a junction point. We're starting to come together. So I like using these areas here, especially crossovers are important to me. Other people use Bollinger Bands on like the 4 hour, or some other people use smooth address or smooth moving averages. Other people use return to means or pivot points. But either way, whatever one you guys use, make sure that you're paying attention for the retracement, because once it crosses like we saw right here, it very much was going to come back and retrace. So make sure you pay attention to that. Here we go. Also, we have a demand supply zone in this area. Make sure you're paying attention to that. Here you guys go right here. And this is important as well. Like I said, this is the line in the sand. This is the one that this is a weekly demand zone as well as the 400 period moving average. So making sure that you guys know, right, that if we come down to this area, you know, that, like I said, that 12,000 mark. Let's check this out here real quick, actually on, here we are. Let's see where this sits. The retracement. So from here, this is the 75. Under here, let's try making this 80 or 90. Brinks is here. Nice, nice. Hey, Brinks, how you doing?
Hey, Pedro.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, you?
Good. Are you getting an echo for yourself?
Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Is that better?
1 second. Let me try. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
You still have a bit of an echo.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure this out. Maybe now. Try that.
That's better.
Excellent. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm trying to figure out a way so that I can actually live stream and show my face. So yeah, it's in a nutshell. So I'm doing real quick an analysis of, and if you want to, I know that you do quite a bit of a technical analysis yourself, so I know that you do a pretty good job at it as well. I know that your teacher was pretty good, so I figure.
Not as good as you though. Well, I'm not as good as you.
Yeah, I actually had my coach on the other day, and
was that who I saw you tag on Twitter saying to talk shop?
Yeah. That's exactly. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna have to pull away at this then now. Yeah, so for me to get rid of that, man, I got to figure something else out. I don't want to bring in a. I don't want to have a I don't want to buy. I don't want to get another screen that has a camera in it, but I might have to, which unfortunately is I really don't want to, but I might just have to. So it kind of stinks. So let me go ahead and finish off here real quick on the analysis of what I've been looking at. So we can see that we came and retested this area up in the junction point of that 20 and 8 moving average, and now we're seeing a sell-off. Like I said, guys, make sure you're paying attention. Right here this is the line in the sand, like I was saying, before we get down to that 10,000 area. But like this is going to be, if it breaks through this, like I said, it will then also come back down, retest this, and then what we'll see is a sell-off, come back and retest, and then push. I really doubt it if we see a major sell-off. I really doubt it. Now let's check out real quick the longs here. There we go. Now we are starting to see sellers step in on the longs. We're starting to see people actually sell off their Bitcoin here. So it's important to pay attention to that, right? We are starting to see a rounding trend here. If this comes back and retests this area here, we're most likely going to see another sell-off, maybe even down to this area here where people actually go through and get rid of their Bitcoin. Now, let's go and look at the shorts here real quick. People are selling off their shorts. So basically, this is a bullish sentiment, just simply because people are pulling off their shorts. So it's interesting to see what's going on. Maybe they just don't know if Bitcoin's going to we're at a very low point here. So maybe they're a little bit afraid. They don't think it's going to go down to that 12,000, 10,000 mark. So they're pulling off their shorts just to see. And plus, a lot of people have actually made a lot of money right now, right? Shorting. So they could be pulling their shorts off to profit some of that movement that's been going on, and maybe even divest into Bitcoin, down the road if they believe it's going to drop here, or maybe into other cryptos. So something to be paying attention to. But something that you need to look at. Now, I'm going to go into some of the other stuff, but Brinks, so your real skill set, which I was telling the audience here, your real skill set is that you really are a great vetter. I mean, is it okay if
say who you kind of work for? And actually, you know what? Let me be quiet. You talk about your introduction into crypto and what you have viewed and what what is your journey, real quick. I'd love to ask you that and kind of tell me about it, and then up to today.
But like how I got started in crypto and pretty much like what I'm doing now.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, how you got started, maybe your evolution of your skill set, and then kind of who you work for, how good you are, because
Hmm.
you're kind of a big deal over there.
Yeah,
And then,
well, to clear things up, I don't work for them.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, because like they don't write me checks or anything.
of
So,
course,
just want
yeah,
to clear that up. But I'll get
absolutely,
into that as I'm talking about it.
yeah. Go ahead, go run with it, my friend.
Hmm. So I started my so I started my journey knowing about crypto, and I'm still kicking myself up for not buying Bitcoin when I first heard about it, because I heard about it what was below $1, I believe. At most, it was below $10 per Bitcoin. Because I followed this person that taught, but like this was before crypto was really even anything anybody talked about. I followed this guy that's pretty much always finding things early. So like he would talk about 3D printing, but before anybody was talking about that, he was talking about um different currencies like fiat currencies. And one day he's just talking about Bitcoin. But what I didn't understand, because like it was a brand new concept, so he knew what he was talking about, but he didn't fully explain it. So he made it seem like it was a physical coin that you had to buy online. So I'm like, looking at it like I would have to buy it on eBay, and I would have to sell it on eBay. So I'm like
Oh
that.
wow,
So kind of like it looked like flipping NFTs, which obviously it is very profitable, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
just didn't understand the concept of it.
Wow, and you heard it when it was under. I mean, even to say under $10 is
It, it,
a
it, it,
steal. Yeah,
Even to say under $2,000 is a sit steal, but like,
yeah, absolutely,
but
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
so
Wow.
so I didn't even look deep into it, because I just thought it was a physical coin, and, but then it had its first bull run, ran up to a few $100s, I think. and,
Yep.
and
So this was back in 2010, 2000 and
so somewhere between 2010 2012, I forget the exact
wow,
year.
wow.
Yeah. Then I was like, because like even though it had a pretty big run up percentage wise, I didn't realize how big of a percentage that was. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Then
No, nobody did, right? Like who, I mean, who thought, right? Like that, this thing that's worth a couple cents. I think I remember when it was even below like a cent, you know?
hmm
They were giving it away in credit cards for you to sign up in college stuff. I remember because a
it,
friend of mine had a ton.
it,
Go ahead.
yeah, it's funny because I actually, while I was vetting a project, I was actually talking to a project owner, and he was telling me he got like 20 free Bitcoin,
Yep.
because back in the days that they were just dropping it.
Hmm.
He saw this article. He really didn't know what Bitcoin was, but he was like, uh, he filled out this form, created like put 4 emails, put 4 Bitcoin addresses,
Mhm.
And they
Wow.
were sending each email address and wallet address but 5 Bitcoin. So he set up four of them, and he just held them. So he literally got 20 Bitcoin for free. And then like when it hit like $1,000, he sold a couple of them because he thought that was just going to be the top. Then it got to
Funny.
$20,000, and he sold another to he sold like half of what he had.
Yeah.
So he sold 5 at 1,000, and then another 5 at 20,000. Then he's like, oh, okay, I never thought it would hit 1,000. But then I never thought it would hit 20,000.
Right.
I'm just saving these last 10 Bitcoin. I'm never selling them. Just
Smart.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. That is. Is he using the Lightning Network to maybe bring in some extra income from it? Do you know?
That I'm not sure about because I haven't talked to him in a while.
Wow. You know, I would love to get him on the show here just to hear him talk about that. That'd be a great thing. So I mean, so we digress. Keep going. Keep going. So
Yeah. Sorry about that,
that's
Pedro.
okay. That's my fault. That's my fault. That's me curious. Go ahead.
But yeah. So I watched Bitcoin do its first bull run. But then it got boring. Like everybody knows, bear cycles get boring. So then I think the next one was the 2017 bull run, or at least I haven't heard about Bitcoin in between like that first cycle in like 2013 till like 2017. When all of a sudden it went up to 2,000, then 4,000 a couple days later. Then, but
Yeah.
by the end of the year, it went up to 20,000. So
I remember a guy who was actually at the time Ubering, and I would just start to really get and understand my trading style and what I'm doing, right? After, almost 14, 13 years. And it hit 20,000. And I remember telling him, saying, "Hey, man, it ain't going to keep it. It's going on the Chicago Board of Trade, and they're going to drop this." He goes, "No." I go, "Dude, that's what they're going to do." I said, and he goes, I pulled out a lien on my house." I go, "How much?" And he goes, 100,000. I go, "You bought in 100,000 for Bitcoin so you bought 5 Bitcoin at this 20,000?" He goes, "Yep, it's going to go to 100,000." I said, "Before it goes to 100,000, man, it's going down to 3 or 4,000." And I pulled up my on my phone the chart of it, and the guys, "There's no way it's going to. There's no way," right? And and then it proceeded to go all the way down to 10,000, and then to then
2
ultimately
or
3,000.
3,000.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like 3,000, and it hit the point area that I had showed them. And I don't know if that was something that because I told him, I go, you're gonna lose your marriage." And he goes, "No, I won't." And I go, "Dude, your wife would divorce you. You pulled out $100,000 out of your house." I always wonder what happened to that guy. I always wonder. Anyways, side note. Back to your story. So you see the bull run. So you see the bull run of 2017, right? Where
Yeah.
all of a sudden it screams like,
Mm-hmm.
look, right? It's right here, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, so just with how quickly it was pumping,
Mhm.
scared me off. I was like,
There's no way it's going to come down.
exactly. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way, like, because as you know, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. So
Mhm.
I figured like the banking system or whatever, what was just like institutions, banking system, whatever you want to call it, what was just manipulating the market to steal people's money pretty much. and so I didn't buy in there. And I watched it go to 20,000, but then it did the crash and January or February of 2018. I forgot when exactly.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
so like I had so I met a guy that worked at the mall I go to. And like he was really bullish on Bitcoin the whole way up. And then the next time I see him, I'm like, did you sell the top? He's like, I took a little bit of profit, but now I'm buying more because it's going down. And I just thought it was a dead type thing
Yeah.
at that point, because I didn't understand like the Bitcoin cycle or anything like that.
Hmm.
So last March, when it was at 60,000, I still didn't buy in, but since it crashed
Coming down.
about that 20,000 down to 40,000, I was like, oh, okay, I might as well put my skin in the game at this point.
Yeah.
So so I bought that thinking that was going to be the new bottom, because I didn't know technical analysis or anything like that.
Mhm.
So I started dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, Ethereum, pretty much everything on Coinbase. I started buying. That
Nice.
then but my dad kept finding these projects on Coin Market Cap, like the day they listed with the multiple zeros after the decimal point, but before the first one. Like the first one we got into was Baby Cake.
Really? So you got into baby cake. Wow.
But
Wow.
but
That's
but
that's
but
cool.
we got into that literally like not even an hour after it got listed on Coin Market Cap.
How much you put? Actually, don't tell me how much you put in.
I only put 100 in.
Still,
but
you did
but
really
but
well.
yeah, but it got into but it got a 10x. But I'm like, but like at this point I'm like, oh okay, no, it can't sustain this. I gotta sell. My dad's like, no, don't sell. It's gonna have another big move down the road.
Ah,
So but the good thing is it leaves the cake rewards,
yes, the
because of
cake.
how much volume there was.
You got good cake. Got a good amount
Yeah,
of cake.
yeah, with the amount of cake rewards, what was just like constantly increasing, what was constantly increasing, but the uh, uh sorry,
Yeah.
the amount of volume was giving me so much cake reward, it actually still made me profit when it crashed.
Speaking
This
of
is
cake, cake is. I mean, it's a steal. I mean, it is such a steal. It is such a
what's it at
steal.
right now?
It's at 293 right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is such a steal, and I've been paying attention to it because I love what Pancake Swap has done with the perpetual futures and
Mm-hmm.
how they're setting everything up with them. I think it's a no brainer. I mean, they're at $2 right now, from the all time high at 43. So I think if we see a lower low and a
That's like
lower
a
high,
20x.
yeah, oh yeah, at least, yeah, it's and it remind you, right? Because their system, they're a business, right? It's like they're a business. They bring money in, right? They do swaps. And so not only do they have the perpetual future side that you can trade, but then they also have the backside. And all of this is DeFi. This is all DeFi, pure DeFi. So you don't have, it's not like it's central exchanges that you have to go through. No, this is DeFi. If you have a trust wallet, if you have a Algorand wallet, if you doesn't matter, right? You can trade these guys based off of your wallet. Now, if you're in the United States, you cannot trade this because they don't allow you, right? And just to keep everything kosher. But if you know how to look into that and play with that, then you know how to do that. But it's very interesting. So Cake, since they've come out, they've got some. I mean, back here to here, they did not have what they have today at this price, and so we all know that typically, the all time high of a new previous high is about a 10x. So we very much could see, right, a 400 Cake. Right, and again, this is a no investment. This is not investment advice. This is this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and social educational purposes only. Right, but just to throw that out there, it's a good. I like them. I think what they're doing is they have a really good system. What they're doing. But besides, so you started getting Cake, right,
Mhm.
from your baby Cake, and
Yeah. So this was where I became a idiot. So it looked like so it looked like baby cake started to hit a bottom around August because like because like it was still going on a downward trend, but it still had like little bottoming looks. But this was also before I met you and really understood technical analysis.
Mhm.
So so I ended up selling all my cake rewards to buy more baby cake for when they go back up. The good thing is that their team is still there, so it wasn't like it was a rug pull or a slow rug,
Right.
and they're still working on new utilities and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I went into their
hoping.
Telegram,
So,
talking to
so
them a
I'm
little bit.
hoping come next bull cycle that they just go
Stop.
crazy again.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to buy a little bit more of the baby cake. I'm realizing this is looking really pretty here. I'm going to wait until if it all depends on what we do this week. If we act a certain way on Bitcoin this week, then we might see a drop within the market. If the Nasdaq has a sell off within the next week or two, that will definitely affect Bitcoin and definitely affect the rest of the market. So it all just depends on the Nasdaq and what the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 decides that they want to do. So making sure you want to use that correlation for yourself because they're still pretty closely correlated.
Mhm.
Anyways, I apologize. Keep going, brother.
No problem. So after that this is before like I understood Telegram security. Where like I turn off the ability for groups to pull me into other groups and
Yep.
so that scammers can't like pull you into random groups.
Yep.
To trick you into thinking you're in the official group.
Yep.
So somehow I got pulled into the kitty cake Telegram and the mini cake Telegram, which were forks of baby cake.
Okay.
So I got into both mini cake and kitty cake, but before they even got listed on the Coin Market Cap. Kitty cake I got into maybe an hour before. And mini cake I got on to before I got on to I got on to like a day before or something or like a week before, but mini cake was definitely just a rug pull, but I didn't know the signs
Yep.
to be able to detect it, and I was just like, what? Well, they're doing the same thing baby cakes doing, so I'm just getting into this one super early, and that they're probably by the same team, not knowing about how scammers operated. But I didn't put up that much into mini cake or kitty cake.
Mm-hmm.
But so I got into both of those, and then I was like, going on YouTube, searching for videos for, about both projects.
Yeah.
I saw one where like this influencer was talking about Kitty Cake and how he sees it being a potentially good project in the short term. What so and then like he was promoting his Discord, and I'm like, too many influencers just shill projects, and everybody has a Patreon or a Discord, paid Discord that you gotta sign up for.
Yep.
But then the next day he puts out a video warning about a potential rug pull called Mini Cake. I'm like, okay, you never see influencers call out rug pulls or potential rug pulls.
Unfortunately, we don't, which is really sad because we should.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so the videos he makes, he's not paid by the project, which is a good thing. He's just doing it to like actually help people. And then like if you in the bottom part of his videos, he always puts like a link to his pre-sale strategy course. So like I bookmarked it. I didn't watch it yet, but then like a week later, he actually calls out a obvious rug pull. It was actually a honey pot.
Nice.
Which is pretty much just a scam, kind of like that Squid Game token last year,
where you can buy but you can't sell.
Exactly. So he calls that out. He's like, do not buy this coin. It's obviously a honey pot. All you see is buy orders coming in. You see these little sells, but that's the team slowly selling to make it look like a healthy chart. But if you actually run it through this website, honeypot.is, it tells you that you cannot sell this token. So I'm like, okay, this guy's legitimately trying to help people. So I check out his pre-sale strategy course. Well, it was a free like 1 hour sample of his full course. So I check that out. I'm like, yeah, this guy's legitimately like helping people with this information. So I'm like, I'll sign up for his Discord because you get the full pre-sale strategy course for free with the Discord membership. It's only $50 a month. Worst case, I don't make because that's like at half of what I put into like these riskier projects. So I'm like, if I'm able to just make that back with one project this month that I find that through the teachings of this Discord community, I'll just keep my membership going until I don't make $50 in them that month. What was my look at it?
That was a good thought.
Thanks. So I checked it out. I'm like, I loved the course. I spent like an entire day like watching the entire course, maybe 2 days, because like I wasn't just watching. I was actually
taking
like
notes.
Yeah. So like I would pause, rewind, make sure I'm understood. Join the Discord, and then the name of the Discord was Tribe 100X. A few months later, back in October, they held a private sale for a token that they decided to create called Better Token. so I participated in that just because I trusted the team. Like I would, but like that's the only team I've ever done a private sale because a lot of private sales are just scams because they're not through a launch pad. So you're literally just sending your money to the team, hoping that they don't just run off with your money. But because of everything that they did, I just trusted them. So I'm like, yeah, I'll contribute to your private sale. And then about like 2 weeks to a month later, they did the pre-sale, which sold out, I think, 1,000 B&B in less than a minute. On Pink Sale, and then the launch, like the launch was just crazy because like launch day, they had a few technical issues, so they had to keep pushing out the time later than they expected. But for the entire day, there were over 11 or 1,200 people in their voice chat, just like waiting to buy in. And I know you were there. You were watching as well. And the price was just like 30 something, and it jumped all the way up to a penny. It was there for like a day or two. Where like it just stayed, and then like it was staying around a penny for like a month, I think. but it was just like a very crazy launch, probably the craziest launch I've ever seen. And pretty much what Vetter is, it is that they are crowdsourcing, helping people find pre-sales, private sales, fair launches early. They don't give financial advice, but that they really dive deep into some of the projects that scouts post on there. And as you were asking me to tell you what I do, I work with them, and I contribute to the platform, and I help find projects, and also dive deep into them.
Yeah, and you do an exceptional job when it comes to analyzing and really being able to gauge which way. If anybody can actually tell me as well as how to mute my voice on completely shutting down the audio on an iPad, that would be great, because for whatever reason there's no way for me to go through and mute it. So if anybody knows how to do that, let me know, because it is like the most annoying thing. One second. Yeah, you do an exceptional job when it comes to you handling and dealing with a lot of the stuff within the small caps. I mean, you are phenomenal when it comes to looking at and handling that. I'm really impressed with how well you're able to gauge whether something is going to be and you have such a wide variety of tools that you go through, you look at, you really gauge whether it's going to be good or bad, and you're really good at that. I mean, that's really where your skill set lies. I mean, you have a lot of skill sets, but your real skill set is just the fact is that you're good at that. You're able to really gauge which way it is, whether, right off the jump, like you knew, like when you were the first, and just so everybody knows, I got into, what was our first one that I got into with you? It was the first one I ever got in.
Gummy beans?
There you go, gummy beans. Yeah.
I only remember that just because I was watching it for like a month. It looked really good. And then someone in the Tribe 100X Discord was like, hey, you might want to look at this aspect. It's pretty weird to me. And I'm like, this is still when I was learning
Yeah.
the basic information. That was actually the first, that was actually before I was a better. I was still a scout.
Yeah.
But what I was doing was I was networking with the betters, asking them their advice on things, on what's a good project, what's not. And I spent like 6 months. I still do reach out to them and ask questions. I'm like, this seems weird to me. What do you think?
Mm.
But now we're more like just getting confirmations on it. It's a weird type thing, or not pretty much.
Now, if you could do me a favor, could you talk a little bit about some of your vetting processes for our viewers? And obviously, I don't want you to give away the juice, right? But enough to where you could really help them out, if you don't mind.
I actually put a tweet out a couple days ago that kind of like points out serious red flags. I just need to find it. Yeah. So is there a way for me to share this the link to this tweet for you, Pedro? Pedro, you muted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So if you go into the comments down in that section area where it says chat.
Comment section?
Yeah. Or yeah. Post all your stuff in there, and then it'll post to everybody so they can see the link. And I'm gonna step
for some
away
reason it won't let me comment. It'll let me do it in private chat.
Should be able to.
Could it be because I don't have an account?
Oh, you didn't set up an account?
No, I didn't realize I had to until I just looked over there.
It's okay. You know what? Send it to me privately, and then I'll put it in. Also, at the same time, give me your link, because for whatever reason it didn't populate for your actual Twitter account. If you could just kind of go real quick over that, or take about 10 minutes to kind of explain what you're doing when you're looking at new coins or potential coins that have been around for a couple of weeks, but could be slow rug pulls or certain things like that, because those are so important.
Yeah. So the main thing I'll look at is the tokenomics, because what a lot of projects will do is they'll get like a CertiK audit, which is great, but just because it's CertiK audited, even CertiK will tell you just because it's audited by us, that doesn't mean it's going to be a successful project. They can still scam you, because what a lot of projects will do is that they'll get CertiK just because they know that CertiK has trust, but they know that most people most likely won't even read the audit. So the audit gets too technical even for me, because I'm not a developer. I don't understand the code. But if you're looking at a CertiK audit and you see that there's 7 major concerns that they found, but none of them were fixed. They were just addressed. That's a concern, because especially if it's a major concern to CertiK, and they're just like, yeah, we're aware of the issue, but we really don't care. That's a red flag because they most likely put some type of back door in there to be able to do a rug pull on people, and Certic's trying to warn people, but the team's just like, but we really don't care. And I do that with major concerns, but with medium concerns, but with minor concerns, and even informational concerns. I don't even know what informational concerns are, but if there's anything that that's just left as a dress, not actually fixed, it's a concern to me. Then I look at tokenomics. Then I'll look at the sketchy tokenomics, but like the token allocations. If the team has a big token, a big supply of the tokens, I like to find out, are those tokens locked, and if they are locked, how long are they locked? Because if the team only, like if the team has 7% of the tokens, and they're unlocked at the launch, that the team can literally just wait for the initial pump and just dump 7% of the tokens and kill the chart, kill the project, and almost drain the liquidity. Or if they only have the tokens locked for a month, then it helps determine, okay, this project will be somewhat safe, like never a guarantee with crypto.
I was going to say never a guarantee, but you also don't get, 20, 30 X's. You don't get 100 X in traditional finance, right? You don't get 1,000 X, within a, ever. Like very rarely do you get. Whereas in crypto, you can get 100 X even on a rug pull. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
yeah.
So like you can. So like with the team tokens, if they only have the liquidity and the team tokens locked for a week.
How do they find if it is being locked or not? How do they find what's actually going on with that?
So that's actually something I really like about, but how most of the launch pads adapted. It is like, if you really look closely at the page, it'll say, but like at the bottom, how there's that pie chart, but with the breakdown of like pre-sale, private sale, pre-sale, unlock, burn, team tokens, liquidity.
Well, I can pull it up. I'll go to which.
Just go to something random, but this will be a good way to really like show what I look at for tokenomics.
Actually, I can go to just CoinMarketCap, right? We can actually just go to even CoinMarketCap works, right?
No, you'd have to do Pink Sale.
All right, cool. Let's do
Pink Sale Finance.
And make sure you put it in correctly, because all the scammers will literally there's probably a 20 to 1, 30 to 1 scammer. So make sure you put it exactly in Finance, FINANCE, right? Boom. Finance. Just a minute, it'll populate here.
And also just bookmark what websites that they should go to, and also like even very good looking pre-sales and micro caps. Yeah. Keep in mind that 99% of crypto is gonna fail within the next 5 to 10 years, just because
we're in a new industry. Imagine the dot-com bubble and all of those websites that actually came out that became millionaires, right? And then many
so
of them
go to
failed.
Launchpad list,
Give me 1 second.
right above private sale.
Okay. Private sale, Launchpad list. Here we go. And we'll just pick. This is picking you right.
No, I'll choose one that at a glance looks potentially good. Do something that has KYC. So scroll up and see filter by all set status. KYC I don't really trust fully, but
KYC means know your customer. All right.
Thanks, Pedro.
Yeah,
Scroll down. Yeah. Look at Baby
Where's Baby Ape? All right, here we go. Let's check them out here real quick.
8.
If you pull,
So scroll down. Okay, so see that big purple?
Yep.
70%. Now, if you scroll that down a little bit more, this is actually the unlocking schedule. So the first unlock it is today. So see how all those unlocks are today?
That's a red flag.
Oh wait, that's 8-1. Sorry, I just saw the first and I knew today was the first. So everything unlocks on the first. So the first two unlocks
every month. Yeah. So it's a month from now. You have two.
So 1.5 billion tokens unlocks after a month. So if you scroll up.
Yep. I'm gonna view all of it so you can see them all. So we can see them all.
Well, the first one you want to, but like all you really need to do is to get an idea of how long the team plans to be there. It is seeing how much it is unlocked the first day that it gets unlocked. So 1.5 billion. So if you scroll back up to the go back to the main page, Pedro.
Actually, it's 2 billion. So these are all 8 ones right here. So it's actually you have.
Oh, God.
So you have 2 billion 7. Yeah, 2.7.
2.7 billion. Yeah. So now, what I would do is I'd go back.
Yep.
Scroll that down a little bit. Okay, total supply. What 100 billion?
Yeah,
so they're unlocking almost 3% in a month, which isn't terrible. Especially if you look at the especially if you're looking at the actual website. So if you scroll up,
right here,
and go to their website.
Actually, the website should be down here, right? Oh no,
it's right under the name. Yep.
It's been a minute since I've actually done since I've actually done an actual launch.
Same here, mostly just because of how what market is. Like, it's pretty scary. So now just click on tokenomics.
So we have 4% liquidity, 5% holders, 6% marketing for the sell, and then their buy is 2% for liquidity. So altogether, we're talking that is 10% on the buy.
16. It's 15% buy and 15% sell. So try to scroll down a little bit more.
That's it. I don't.
Yeah,
Something else.
yeah. See if they have a white paper. Click on the white paper.
Now the white paper basically lets us know what they're planning on, and everything that correlates with it. Correct.
Yeah. But like the first thing I look at though is the tokenomics. So I want to see if maybe they just don't have the allocations laid out on the website, and they just have it on the white paper.
Got it.
So if you scroll down,
This is it. I got to pull up the PDF here.
oh,
I hate downloading PDF. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta.
yeah, I hate it too.
Yeah, I won't. And that's the other thing, right? Like I don't know if these are legit. If I download something onto my computer, I very much could. So I don't trust this then. I don't. You know, I'm not gonna read the PDF. I won't click on that. To, you know.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah. So, but you can see typically what most people do is they'll go through and they'll have the white paper in read format on that page here, so I can sit there and read through the white paper.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go through and download something there because, well, long story short, I could download a virus or something of that nature. So I'm not gonna sit there and play the game there because it puts me in harm's way.
Mm-hmm. So if you go back to the pink sale page though, but there's a little bit more that I'll look at. So scroll back down towards the pie chart. So the liquidity is locked for a good amount of time, but something I don't like is the liquidity is very small ratio.
Oh, so it makes it very volatile.
Yeah. So that could actually help create a massive pump or a massive dump.
But and for both, you very much could do both, right?
Correct.
Now these type of investments, like I say, are very risky, right? So this is not financial advice, just to point out here. But what's going on though is you can catch potential, Shiba Inus. You can catch potential other coins that are small that are actually trying to do something. But this is where this is the inception of it, right? This is, like Moonrock, we launched off of, Pink Sale. So it was like one of those things that it just grew, right? Like, so you can find really good projects, right? Did Vetter launch on Pink Sale as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can buy. There's good projects. So you're saying that you come here, you look at that liquidity. So the liquidity, basically, if it's a small amount of liquidity, you can either have massive pumps, which a lot of the devs want, right? Because that brings in a lot of people then who go, oh, they start to FOMO, right? And all of a sudden that chart goes from down here to this right here, or it does this right here. And then a lot of scammers will go through and just sell at the top where they've got a couple million, right? And then you'll see this huge drop, and then the
chart's
the
dead.
holder, and the chart's dead. And they do this over and over. Now the SEC is getting involved, which is great. I absolutely love this, and they're going after major people. They just actually went after that woman, who. She basically pulled away. She walked away with like $8 million, $10 million. Yesterday, they filed the SEC request for her, and I think that's amazing. I think that should have been done a long time ago. But I think the SEC finally sees a way to make money off of that, and so they're going through and they're just like, let's go after these small people who've literally taken a lot of the money from people. So, and there's a lot of money that these scammers have taken. A lot of money.
And just because a project does a know your customer with a launch pad, that doesn't mean it's a safe project. Just because it's audited doesn't mean it's safe.
Yep, absolutely.
Because like scammers have found ways to get around getting in trouble with doing KYC. So it so like knowing that, I'm just like, okay, if a project's not KYC, that there's literally 0 point in me looking into it because scammers can do KYC and still scam. So at least show the extra effort because they have to actually pay for a KYC.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, if you're not KYC'd, I don't trust you at all.
And in today's world now, because we're in a bear market and what's actually going on overall, I feel like if you're not willing to do that, then I think there could be nefarious reasons, right? I remember there was a betting project. And so I asked the guy, I said, are you going to KYC? I reached out to him because it was pre-sale. I was going to actually invest into the pre-sale. The guy is actually from my hometown. And so I reached out to my hometown. I knew one person who knew of the actual gem, right? And what he was doing. So I reached out and said, listen, you're actually obviously known. You're from America. You need to dox fully and, KYC everything, right? Obviously, you're going to do this. He's like, nah, I don't want to. I go, I can find you. So there's really no point, right? Like, there's enough information about you that you can be found. And he's like, nah, I don't want to. So I sat there and I was like, okay, right? So I didn't invest into him. The project did really well, actually did very, very well. But there are people out there that just, within crypto, you just be wise, like, because that's one out of maybe 100 that you will get scammed. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that, and even speak about doxing, right? Do you look for projects that have been doxed?
Yes, but also I still don't completely believe that like the main green flags that I see with projects, a well-known developer, possibly a well-known team if you're able to find that, which is very rare because like the really good teams typically just stick with one project. The only time you'll see them launching another project is if they're building out an ecosystem.
Yeah.
They like the projects work out together. That's the only time you'll really see truly cut quality teams.
And a shameful plug, Moonrock Coin has a few ecosystems underneath it and will be building out more coins within its ecosystem as we keep developing into new sectors. So
yeah. Same with Better, that they're currently.
Are you 2 or 3? I think you have 2, right?
2, yeah. They're working on their second token for their ecosystem, which is going to be which is going to be 2 launch pads. One launch pad's going to be similar to Pink Sale, and then I believe I could be wrong, so don't quote me. The other one's going to most likely be an IDO platform.
Nice.
Where yeah, because like you'll have to hold their token to get allocations in the pre-sales on that platform.
When are they gonna? I don't think if you can't give this information back, just say it. But when are they planning on doing the IDO? Oh, and then I hope I didn't cut you off because I want to jump back to actually what I wanted you to talk about was like going through your process of what you're looking at. So we'll talk about that.
So let me answer that last question real quick. Absolutely. So to answer that last question, the date's still to be announced. Right now they're working, but before they really want to give any dates, that they want to have the new website, the revamped website, fully operational and working. And they expect to have that out with an update and reveal on the 6th, July 6th. So that'll be when there's probably more information, and then all of a sudden you'll probably be hearing about veteran Skylabs everywhere.
Nice, man. I'm really looking forward to that, seeing you guys really explode. So that you want to congratulate Mike also for what he's doing and everything that he's doing, what he's bringing to the market, and how he's really trying to clean things up. They are a great project, and I myself am a better holder, so.
Yeah,
I wanna-
but the one time you listen to my technical analysis instead of yours.
Yeah, I did, right? I called it to a T. Are they still sitting in that area? Are they kind of bouncing off in that area? Or are they?
Let me see.
And you know you can share your screen too, I believe.
I didn't know that. Yeah. There's still looks like they have a decent consolidation in that area.
Okay. Yeah, let me pull them up here real quick so I can check them out. Yeah. Give me one moment. Are they going to become a futures on Pancake Swap? I think they should. Personally,
that I'm not sure about.
That would be so good, because the other thing I love about that Pancake Swap idea is that you can go long and short on your own coin, right? So when your coin, so if you have, let's say, a token, right, and it's dropping, well, if it's dropping and you're short and long it, right, you're basically, your balance is staying even, right? You've got a hedge in between, and since it's a perpetual future, you can always still sit there and say, yeah, even though our coin is dropped, our actual, we have cash because we've long and shorted it. So it's almost being a play of a hedge fund. So that's why I think all projects should come, if they're a legit project and planning on staying for a long time, they should apply and become a future, right? So that they can go long and short the market and be able to protect their assets when the market turns around, or if they have a major sell-off, right? You can sit there and go, well, we just had a huge short here and we made all this profit. So I think it's something that major projects will probably start doing. You could actually then be able to start, I think sooner or later, the Pancake Swap is sooner or later going to get into the options, right? And so you can actually, as a project, sit there and write option contracts on your or you could sell options and create a premium and create premium where you bring in income to your project apart from what you're doing for taxes. So it's these things that I think, as we keep evolving as a sector, or a new, what do we call it? I forget what's the word I'm using. As crypto keeps evolving, right? We're going to find new ways to be able to offset and bring stability within the market, because these huge swings, right, are crazy, which are great if you know what you're doing, right? But if I can sit there and say, okay, you know what, I want to do an option on this, right, where I just sell premium and bring in some money, right, while I'm sitting here, or while we're at this little point during crypto, crypto winter, I can sit there and create a little bit of cash, while we're sitting in these areas. So just little areas. And then for me, during that, I would actually just accumulate certain projects that I really like. I think it would be really something that would be an asset to people. Anyways, but that's a side point. So talk to us a little bit. So you've gotten really good. Now talk about your ranking, because you're very well respected within your community. And
so,
go ahead.
So right now they have 4 or 5 different ranks: red, beige, green, and purple. So 4 ranks. Red is obviously the worst. Beige, yellow as well. So it's 5. So Pedro, you disappeared. You're muted.
Sorry, I think what it is I'm having some issues with the connectivity, but you're good. You keep going. Just give me a second.
Cool.
I'll try to work this out, and I'll be back. But I'm listening to you as you're speaking, so keep going.
Cool. So they have five different color rankings: red, yellow, beige, green, and purple. Red means that they have a pretty bad rank, but like it's the lowest rank you can get. Yellow it is a beginner rank, like that everybody starts out at yellow. Beige it is slightly better, but where like you're starting to kind of understand what you're doing. Green it is where you're above average. And purple is you're successful, but most of the time. Then there's scouts, betters, and voters. But voters help make it so that people's ranks are accurate. So like if a project does well, they vote yes, it was profitable in this time frame, 24 hours, 7 day, 30 day, and overall. Which is what affects the scouts ranking. And if it didn't do well, they vote it was unprofitable. Then betters get ranked. Betters get ranked the same way, but they don't get voted on but by how the project performs. They get voted on what was this information provided helpful in making your decision, but before going in on the project. And voters get ranked based off if they voted incorrectly, they can get a downvote by high level voters, and then their rank goes up if they just don't get that downvoted on their votes. And at 99 points out of 100 for scouting, I'm at 100 for voting and betting. And recently the audit team actually put out some numbers for top level scouts that they noticed are doing pretty well. I'm pretty selective, and projects ever since November, I only scouted about 30 to 35 projects. And out of the last 10 projects, I averaged about a 17x in the first 24 hours, and 70% success rate of finding projects that are successful in the first 24 hours.
Wow, that's impressive. That's such a good 70%. So people know, like, within the next 24 hours, you're set. You know, you're 1 in 2 out of at least, what is it? 4 out of or 3 out of 4 of your projects, man, always do good within a 24-hour period.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So the sample that they took were the last 10 projects.
Nice. And I know you really do your homework. You're one of. I know you just went over just a few of your things that you sit there and you do, but the reality is you do such a great job when it comes to. I know that Moonrock uses you to vet a lot of stuff that we're looking into and projects. So I know that we appreciate your skill set. Now, if you don't mind me asking, could you tell people where they can find you, where you're at? I'm going to jump on your Twitter here so people can check it out. And I know that me and you will be doing some type of crypto daily thing, whether it's going to be maybe an hour, kind of like this, or we do, maybe 2 hours. It just depends on what we're looking to do. But we're going to be going over news, going over also, and we're going to be bringing on other people like Crypto Bull, who's really good. He is a political major or he went to school for political science, and he knows quite a bit. I mean, he's on top of that, Ralphie, and just everybody in our organization is just phenomenal. And so I think it's going to be fun to bring them on and hear their views and what their thoughts are. So, headed Twitter.
Oh! I copy. I sent you my Twitter.
Awesome. Was that on Telegram?
No, I sent it in the private chat. Want me to send it on Telegram?
Oh, that's right. Oh, I got it. I got it right here. Let's see.
And then you can just click my my avatar.
So this is where you guys can find him. He's at Brinks36_V for better. As you guys can see here, he gives a quick little understanding of what to look for, what he does. Scott, and I think you've only been out for about a month, right?
1 to 2 months.
Yeah, so he's got about 110 followers. I know a lot of them are guys from Better that are following you. How often do you typically post? About once a day? Once every 2 days?
It kind of varies, but like for a couple weeks, I took a little bit of a break. A lot of what I've been doing is more communicating with like people that I follow, trying to like help build relationships.
Yeah.
But like if I just come across a project, like if you scroll down a little bit, but like I recently shared like these Certic alerts that I saw. So like that Pure Moon is a perfect example of like what like my serious posts. I maybe do like 1 or 2 a week, but I try to build engagements and stuff like that multiple times a day. Like I'll ask, what do you guys think Bitcoin's gonna do?
Yeah, absolutely. That I think that's where one of those things that
or like I make a funny joke like that, but like if you scroll up a little bit,
right?
Yeah, or like I'll post a joke like that. I'm not sure if you get it.
How low can you go?
Yeah.
How low can
I saw somebody like post how low is Bitcoin gonna go, and I just thought of that song. So I'm like, I'll do it. or like if you scroll down a little bit, like that's somebody I know over at Better. They got Scout of the Week, so I congratulated them.
Nice. Congratulations to Better Platform Official. Look at that. He dude, as soon as he got it, dude, he was like, boom. He's got quite a bit of people. He's got 8,000.
Mm-hmm. And if you scroll down to that next one, that's actually like a sample of like, so this is a project that I called out as like being a very short term one. So like if you click on the retweet.
Give me 1 second. We go for the retweet.
So scroll down a little bit more. So click on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or did you want to highlight the chart? Is that what it was?
No. If you scroll down to the retweet again.
Right here.
I actually only linked my research. So scroll up a little bit.
Well, the fact is that you actually even link your research, so you can actually go and check it out and go to the website.
Yeah. So.
Right here.
Yeah. Click that retweet.
yeah, this is it right here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's just my disclaimer. Sorry, Pedro. It's been a while since I looked at that post.
It's okay, my friend. Yeah, but dude, still got, you know, top scout of the week.
Mm-hmm.
This was back in the day. Way back in
Yeah,
the day.
back in May.
Excellent, my friend. Dude, well, I know that you're phenomenal what you do. We definitely do use you, and we do appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for sharing your story and kind of going over some of the stuff. I'm going to keep going over real quick some of the, if you want to stick around, I don't know if you're busy and if you need to go and do what you need to do, but I'm about to go over some of the top projects here. Check out Cardano, Solana, you know, everything, just see what's going on with Dogecoin, all the markets just to check out and then kind of go from there. If you want to stick around, you're more than welcome.
Nice. But
You know,
thanks. I do have to actually get going to make a call, but it was good being on. Let me know next time you want me here.
Yeah, man, I love to. I'll let you know. If we could even have you on like even 3 times a week, man, that would be the greatest. That would be fun just to go.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and even getting your name out and letting people know maybe top projects that you're maybe looking at that you know, you can let us know, because I know you're always in the industry. I know you're always always looking for good projects, ones that could be started. So we could sit there and throw things out, and you can give us your red flags, your green flags, what to look for, if there's going to be a rug pull. These are these things that, you know, you need to be mindful of.
Yeah, definitely.
One thing I love about
and especially like the main thing that you were talking about with the SEC starting to get more involved. My brand is more it is like the anti-influencer in a way. It's more warning people of concerns I see in a project, mention it, but mentioning but it's crypto, so it could go crazy. But these are some concerns I have about this project.
Well, and that's one thing I do love about you, is the fact that, like, if you think something's cool, okay, this is cool, this is interesting, but these are the red flags that you need to be mindful of. Those are the things that I feel like you shine at. It's just the fact is that you do such a good job by letting people know what's going on, what could potentially be a false flag, or, you know, it's just you do such a great job with it. And so,
thanks. One thing to have people keep in mind: the biggest thing that I've noticed causes an actual project that wants to actually do well, but they typically fail. It is the token has utility, but the business, but the blockchain has a utility, but you don't need to hold the token to access that utility.
say that again. You broke up.
Sorry. So have you ever come across a project where like the idea of the project's really cool, but you don't need to hold the token in order to utilize their utility?
Yeah.
So,
exactly. Yeah.
So those types of projects, I personally consider that a red flag, because they're holding a pre-sale for their token. People think that this token is going to allow me the ability to use this platform, to use this utility, but then, like, when you realize you could use the utility without holding the token, what's the point of holding the token?
Yep. That's actually a good point, because, you know, when I think, you're right, when I think about like Pancake Swap, right, and their futures, you actually get a discount if you have Pancake Swap, right, and you have Cake, you can actually trade Cake on their futures platform here. So I always thought that was really unique, but then you can also just use BNB and other things. So it's like so this is the reason I'm bringing this up. So with the futures protocol that they have going on here with their system, you get a discount by using Cake, but you can use BNB, you can use BUSD on it, or USDT, right? So as long as it's a major, strong stablecoin, you can use it. But there's not a lot of them. But they also, so this is almost this gives you two options. What are your thoughts on that? Again, because it's not
thoughts on the ability to use Cake for trading on futures.
Yeah, but also at the same time, they also give you the ability to use other coins, right? Like USDT, US, or BNB or BUSD, right? So because they're within.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea to get more people involved, but I think that it also makes it more volatile than just using stables.
Really?
Yeah, because if you think about it, when you're I don't fully know how futures works, and I don't really have time right now to really go deep. So we could do that next time I'm on.
Yeah.
But like the way I look at it, like when you have BNB, have a BNB pair with a token on PancakeSwap. If BNB price goes down, even if there aren't any sells on that token, the token's value goes down a little bit. So I'd assume being able, I'd assume having futures pairs, with Cake, with BNB, and other volatile currencies, can actually affect how the chart performs compared to using stables.
Yeah, so it's actually wiser to do the USDT. I see your point. That's a good. See, this is why we have you. This is why we have you come in. You prime point. Boom. You're able. You definitely do really quickly see those little small details. And I do use stable coins, so I do trade this. But I definitely have been looking into getting Cake here. They actually give you Cake where you can actually trade Cake, and it's in between like futures, as well as actually, you know what? Let me let you go. I know that you're busy. You got a lot of things going on. So, listen, love to catch up with you. I'll probably bring you back on maybe Monday. I'm probably gonna start doing this now. Every day. So maybe do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, kind of like when I go over the overview. Maybe bring up a couple. Go ahead.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to make that this Monday, because I'm going to be going over to a friends for the 4th.
What we should do? Oh, I forgot the 4th. You know what? Mark is probably not going to be moving on the 4th, so I probably won't have a Monday show. But what I will do, and I'll reach out to you, and we'll discuss the details and kind of go over stuff. So it'll be fun. But thank you again for coming in today. Thank you so much. You're amazing. As always, you bring in a plethora of knowledge, and it's such a detailed perspective to be able to gauge what's good, what's bad, red flags and green flags. So thank you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it. But thanks, Pedro. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And guys, just give everybody a heads up. So if you guys want to find Brinks, you can go on Twitter. He is at Brinks36_V. This is it right here. Jump on Twitter, check him out. Great guy. Goes over some good information. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Let's go ahead right now into the markets here. Do a quick recap, or as quick recap as I can do, and see what is going on. So we went over BNB. Let's check out Ethereum here. Ethereum looks very similar. Let's check out the monthly chart here. It's pretty much the same chart that we see within Bitcoin. We did bounce off of our zone here, and we are rallying up. look for the retracement of the 8 moving average on that monthly chart. I could definitely see us hitting this. Now we know that this is a 2-hour or a weekly 50 or excuse me 200 moving average. Right here is a, and let me jump here real quick. This is a monthly 50, and I believe we have the same monthly 50 within crypto here. Give me 1 second. Here we are. Boom. So one moment. You want to mark this, and just simply because these are resistant areas, and I like to place where the market is playing in between, like a zone. So on the on the weekly, you have this 200 period moving average. On the monthly, you have this 50 moving average. So something that you do need to play around and pay attention to, just because these are big juggernaut, little support or resistance areas. So you need to be mindful of all of that, because the market can move, and when it hits those areas, it can very much, these are turning points or potential support or resistance. All right, guys, so this is it right here. Let's check out that weekly area here. We can sit here and see, guys, that last month we had a huge sell-off. Last week, again, we had another huge sell-off. So we're still looking at, we did bounce off of this area. Always look for the retracement down into an area. So we sold off, then now we're coming back. So a lot of times we might see another sell-off for the week, right, to come down and then push through and then come back up. So be mindful of this area right here as well, guys. We actually went over a lot of the zone area. Like I said, I have that 900 to 800 mark for an area, as well as we also have this area. I was looking at this earlier. This 500 mark here on the weekly potential, because it is a previous high point right here, right, where it bounced out and then really exploded. So being mindful of this area is something you need to be paying attention to. Oh, pardon me. I got a nose hair here that is just tickling me, so I apologize about that. Please laugh it up at my expense. And so we also have this area right here. So I'm actually going to mark this, but in the same sense, let's change this up again here. We'll make this into a weekly chart. A little duplicate right here. These little areas, guys, just be paying attention to. We definitely are going to see some type of resistance here, where it's going to hit, and then we'll see whether is it going to continue, or are we going to see this rally even higher, or is it going to continue down, or will we see it rally up? So really interesting spots here. Here we go. Let's go into the chart of the daily here. Pretty much looks the same, except we're just putting in a lower high. Shot up, put a lower high. Let's see if we put in and continue that lower low. We are bouncing off of that 8 moving. We'll see if we come back and retest off of here and then sell off even further. Or are we going to start putting in higher highs and higher lows? Here we go. Let's jump out. Let's look at BNB here. Let's check out the month, because like I said, it is a new month and we want to gauge what's going on the month. Okay. As you guys can see here, we have that 8 moving average sitting here We also, and this is something to point out, we had a pretty hard sell-off here. Now, since BNB on this chart is basically looking really weak, I'm pretty positive we're going to see other. Let me pull up CoinMarketCap here real quick. I'm going to check out BNB here. Here we go. Now, when you're looking at these charts, right? Because I know it looks weird, right? Some of the price points are off, right, on other ones. Certain exchanges run by different exchanges. So certain exchanges pull at different points, but you're pretty much going to have kind of a very similar chart. So I want to make sure that I just point that out. Typically, if you can find a major exchange that has access to the full blockchain, that's the most important thing for you. You can see here that this is what this huge sell-off, definitely a weak chart on the monthly. And I want to pull it up here real quick on the monthly. I forgot CoinMarketCap doesn't do monthly. You can see here, guys, that we are at least sitting at this level here that, we'll just point out the weekly here. Definitely holding here. So this is a really unique area. After here, it's nothing but a downtrend from here. So this is it's got to hold here, because if it doesn't hold, the next spot from a technical analysis is this 140, and then from here we're going down to the 30 to 39.41 area for BNB. So these are important junctional points right here as we're looking. So let's go ahead and check out also to see if we have any moving averages. Give me 1 second as I pull this up. Two of these here real quick. Go. So, and I do this primarily as a because color really helps me gauge, right? Color is quick analysis instead of having to remember everything. Second, there we go. So we are going to this one. There we go, guys. So you can see here that BNB on the weekly is sitting right here at this 200 period moving average. So we can put in our zone right here. Like I said, engage to see if it's going to be moving. Making sure that, and I point this out because you do have that 200 period moving average sitting right here. So that's a good indication of a good point of it very much could hit this 159 to like 140, 118 or 120 area. This is an area here that we could sit there and see, and this would be a good area. Honestly, this would be a good area. So I'm looking at this. But if this does not hold, a lot of times, like I said, it will ping pong, right? Bounce. We'll see a good bounce like this, and then a sell off again. So remember, as long as we remain in a bear market, remember to know, right, that Demand zones typically don't work. You really want to look at supply zones, which is where sellers are sitting at, right? So your supply zones are going to hold stronger than your demand zones, and it's just the way it is, right? Because it is a downtrend. So making sure that we understand that, because it it doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. So that overnight is basically showing us, like when it comes back, it will hit an area of support or resistance, and then you'll see it turn around. So it takes a minute, but the zones do work the majority of the time. Now you guys can see here real quick that this area down here is on that weekly. So let's check out the daily here. Did not know we had this here. Look at me, guys. I was being silly here. Huh. Check this out real quick. Boom. All right. Here we are. Let's check out a monthly here real quick. Down in this area right here, we have a monthly on BNB, a monthly SMA right here. We need to make sure we are mindful of this, because ultimately it very much could react. So when we come back to this area down in here, again, we could see a nice little reaction, catch a day or two uptrend, while waiting for it to turn around and go back down if the bull market does continue. Second, gray. This is the monthly chart here. Be mindful of that, guys, just right here, because very much could be moving off of this. But like you can even see here, from the next point down, it's down in this area. Right, it's $35. And again, this was the previous high, as we see right here. So this previous high is at that 41-cent mark. And then from there, guys, we very much could get down to that 10, and even it could get down to the very beginning of this at $3, right? Just depends on how far this bull market, this bear market continues. So make sure you guys are paying attention to that. Here we go. Mental note. Make sure that I pull out any type of tickly in my nose. I hope I don't become internet famous over this. Anyways, okay. So let's go ahead and check this out here. Let's go to the daily and pull this up. You guys can see here that we are definitely putting a lower high here. We did hit this previous high, or this previous low here, where we came down, came back down and hit it. So something we could be seeing. Let's check out and see what that daily candle is looking like. Do we have a... All right, so you can see we're definitely hitting this junctional turning area right here. You see it turn around and continue down. From here on a daily chart, it's definitely going down to at least this area at that 150, because this area have been absorbed. Let's see if it is reacting off an area that's already had a reaction. Yep, so you guys can see here, it's already had a reaction where it pushed up. So the next spot, honestly, is right here, guys. This is where I am truly seeing Bitcoin coming down, or not Bitcoin, BNB coming down to, is this 137 to this 118 mark. This is definitely one of those things that I am I'm almost positive. I could be wrong, but we're putting in a very clear sign that the market is pushing off of these moving averages. So probably on that next Bitcoin leg down, if it does continue, we're going to see this come down to that 153, or excuse me, not 153, but the 135 area. Yeah, it's just, that's what it looks like it's communicating to me. So we'll see what happens. Remember, you trade the chart, don't trade what you think, trade the chart and what it's telling you. So, yeah, to me, the charts are definitely telling me that this wants to continue down to at least the lows of here, if not much lower. So, yeah, that's BNB in a nutshell. Let's check out the next one. Give me 1 second. Market cap here real quick. I like to actually go through the top stuff here so you can see it as I'm looking at. I'm going down here. So BNB, I want to go check out Cardano. Here we go. 1 second. That's ADA. Should be able to see. I know I have ADA here. I know I've marked it up. There we are, ADA. So you guys can see here from a monthly chart, it's pretty weak. Again, it doesn't give me the full thing, so we're going to pull it up, ADA right here. Man, if CoinMarketCap could be able to keep these charts here, yeah, it's pretty similar to what we're seeing with everything else. You've seen one chart a lot of times, you've kind of seen them all. So we can check this out again here. Let's pull this up. Section. Let's check this out real quick. And the reason why I use these, my coach kind of helped me out when it comes to looking at this. I brought him on actually, I think on Wednesday, where we were just kind of chatting up, kind of talking. So he, we use these ones, but you can use other ones. Like we always tell everybody, look, whatever you're comfortable using, use it, and make sure though that you're consistent. Because the most important thing in trading is consistency. If you're not consistent, you're not going to be able to trade. And also make sure that you're able to use a consistent, very simple system here, meaning whether you use Bollinger Bands, whether you use other indicators, make sure that you don't have a million indicators. Keep a few indicators to let you know what's going on. All right, guys, so you can see here that we actually have this 8 moving average up in this area. We've had a big huge sell-off on the monthly. So let's go and pull up right here real quick. Right here. Do it again. So these junction points here are pretty important. It's primarily because they can, like I said, these, we could see a push up And from there, from this push up, we see if we do continue up, another reversal here. So make sure that you also know that there's that 8 moving average on that monthly chart right here. And then let's go ahead and pull up right here on the monthly chart. Man, on the monthly chart, I really do see us coming down to ADA at like legitly right here at the 17. Cardano could easily come down to that 17 mark if we see another leg in with Bitcoin. Very much so. Those major buyers sitting right here at this level at that $17 or excuse me 17-cent mark. And the fact is that this was a previous high. This is the first high that really exploded Cardano. So that 17-cent mark would be a smart area to maybe consider dollar cost average. You could even start now, but the fact is that we're at that 49-cent mark or 44-cent mark. So be looking for this area here as well. Now let's go to the weekly chart. So this area right here again is a weekly zone. So make sure that we're mindful of that. We also have our 8 moving average in this area, so we can definitely see it maybe pull up. We just saw the 400 period moving average pull up in this area, so you can see here that we tried to clear it, but we ran into that 8 trending moving average that actually is making us sell off even more. So the fact is that we're underneath it and at a new month, and they did go up a little right here on that. We have a little wick that literally came up and established some orders. And now we're starting to sell off. So it's something to be paying attention to. From a weekly perspective also, we don't really got anything until we get about right here from a weekly. So I'm going to point this out here. Here we go. Excuse me. Yeah, so this area here is something that I would definitely be paying attention to. The in addition part to it, also making sure that each person, sorry. Let's go ahead and see if you guys can still see me. Apologize about that. So you can see here in this area, guys, this is a nice little sell-off area here that if this comes down into this level, these areas here are definitely areas I feel like that we could see some major buying in this area, especially with Cardano. Those things that I really, really like. Here we go. Let's go ahead and look at that daily chart. The daily chart here is definitely showing that we're hitting this 8 moving average and we're starting to turn over. So that 8 moving average is starting to turn over. We hit it and it is starting to respect that. So easily, guys, I could see us moving down. Cardano's looking really, really weak here. On top of that, we have a bunch of selling days, a decent amount of volume here. So it's be mindful of that. If we see a big increase of sellers step in, this thing's going down, guys. Down to Chinatown. So something to be looking at as well. Let's go ahead and pull up the next one. Boom. Here we go. Let's check out XRP here. XRP. See if we have XRP. Yeah, so guys, you can see here on the monthly chart here, we can see that we definitely went up just a little. Now we coming down. So we're going to come and test this area right here, making sure, see if it holds. And so we'll see what happens. Let's check out that weekly chart here. We're getting below here, the low of the day from yesterday. Are we going to push off during this weekend? Who knows? We very much could not. But it's something you need to be paying attention to. Again, we also have the 8 moving average, and we also have this this month, not the monthly 8. I think it's the daily 8 sitting right. Yeah, we have this daily 8 sitting right here, and it looks like it's the 50 moving average. So, oh no, here we go. I thought it was there. There it is. It was the weekly 8 moving average sitting right here. So, coming through that monthly, something to be paying attention to. So right here, as we can see, we're already starting to see the sell-off come in, and we might continue it, but it all depends on what's happening within the market. If Bitcoin decides if it's going to really sell off, we're easily going to push through this area, most likely, but we'll find out what happens there. All right, so let's check out our weekly zone here. Definitely came through last week, bounced off of this. I think when I came on Monday, I said wait for maybe a retracement. If not, you want to see it sell off. Make sure that on the smaller time frames you have a good risk to reward pressure, or a good risk to reward, to be able to gauge which way the market's going to move. So here we go, guys. I'm going to pull up as well real quick. Let's look at that daily. Now, this was a very bullish candle. So the fact is that we're rejecting this candle and pushing through. Now, the day is not over yet, but it's looking very bearish. Just the fact is that I thought maybe we might have a turnaround at this junctional point. But we went up first thing, and we rejected. The buyers were rejected and were pushed, and now we're seeing this thing continue down. So again, XRP is not looking pretty. And we had a substantial amount of buyers stepping into this. So I'm shocked that XRP is being pushed. But again, we're in a bear market. So something to be mindful which way the market's going and which way it's moving. And it's even really interesting is that we're seeing a rally on the S&P 500, right, from the day. Yet we're not seeing much of this here in the first place. So let's check out real quick the NASDAQ. Yes, so the NASDAQ is very indecisive, and then the S&P is definitely looking strong and bullish. So it's definitely coming up to retest in this area, like I said, being mindful of that. The S&P 500 likes to retest. Same thing as well as the NQ. So they're always looking for orders there when they're retesting. So let's check out the XRP level here. So we can sit here and see that on that daily, we're seeing it sell off here. So we very much could see it go below this junction point of the 31 cent area, and even can see it if it's able to hold here off of this area here. But again, this area here is still been used. Like I said, there was a lot of trading happening there. So we could see it sell off from the weekly chart. And then from the weekly, you can see here that we have a little bit of here, but this absorbed this. Now we can sit there and see this come back down to this area, which is at the 21, 2153. And then right here, like I said, we have a clear shot down to the 21. So we're not looking strong here. We are slowing down on XRP from our actual acceleration. So our sellers slowing down. We do have less sellers here on the previous month. This, it could hit here and see a retracement, or we can see it just push through and come down into this area. So make sure we're focusing on that. But if you're an XRP person, make sure you're looking at that. Let's go ahead and check out. Give me 1 second. Solana. That's good old soul power. Let me check out that soul here. All righty. All right, guys, so we see here that we're in this area here. Again, looks very similar to Bitcoin. We are seeing a slowdown of candles here. So that's something that I do look at to see also, but we still had quite a bit of selling pressure here. So understanding that is really important. Right here, as you guys can see, we do not have any really sell wicks. So the supply wick area here, it could retrace. And we can see here that we had our 20-period moving average sitting in this area at the $77 mark. So this $31 mark could, if it could hit this area and see a retracement back into the supply zone. Understanding that's real important simply because people get caught up in the ping pong effect. So just make sure you're looking at that, paying attention, especially on that monthly chart. Now you guys can see here that we're at the 8 moving average. We definitely bounced off of that 8 for this week, and now it's definitely selling off. It's very similar to a lot of the other charts that we're seeing. But we're coming into this area right here, the previous demand on the weekly. And I think we had a little reaction off of it earlier this week, but it's selling through and it's pushing through. So the next spot, if it does come down, is, like I said, coming to this $18 mark and then the $10 mark on Solana. Be mindful of that. We look at here. Let's just check to the left. It's about maybe, oh no. This is two. Yeah, I mean, like even this $21 mark area, like this area here, is something that I'm definitely looking at for this. Then from here, my next spot that I would be looking to get into is personally around this junctional point, the $3 point here as well. There we go. Or 217 mark area here. Because when the market moves, right, it will either move in a retracement, you'll see it typically start to move and then pick up steam. When we're at this point, if we're like a freight train coming down that area, we will see these zones just get shattered. So if you see volume picking up in the intraday, don't touch it. Don't touch this zone. Wait for a confirmation of that it's turning around, because it can be bothersome quite a bit. All right, especially when you don't know. Right, don't set and forget it. Wait for a confirmation on the lower time frames where you see lower highs and lower lows stepping in, or excuse me, not lower highs, lower lows, but higher highs and higher lows is really what you're looking if you want to capture that uptrend. Right? And whatever trend indicator that you're using, making sure that it's on multiple time frames that you can confirm that it's moving up at these points. Because if it's falling like a knife, you don't want to catch it. So yeah, Solana, I could see it. Honestly, like I said, I can see it coming down to this $2 and $1 mark area. Wouldn't that be crazy, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Being able to capture Solana down at $1, right? It'd be almost 100% retracement. That's crazy. But who knows? Who knows what happened? Who knows what's going to happen in this market? The fact is that they're coming out with their own cell phone is huge, right? Like I sit there and I'm like, wow. So that's one of those things that I feel like is a good indication that this is going to be a solid project, right? They're going to have capabilities where you'll be able to be on their blockchain and be able to use it. So, you know what? I was actually shocked that Solana looks like this at this point, but like I said, we're in a downtrend. Let's look at that daily chart here. Daily chart, as you guys are seeing, similar thing. We're hitting that 8 moving average. We hit the 50 moving average. Really clean cut. Now we had the sell off coming through. So like I said on Monday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were right in this point. Look for us to retest this area and sell off down to this area. So we are catching some support here, but not much. The reality is that it's kind of rejecting this buyer candle. Here, this is more of a bullish candle, but it looks like we're rejecting it. So we did trade through it. We might, like I said, continue down on this daily chart. Maybe between this, even then, it's still so small. Yeah, guys, this is shaping up to at least come down to this $18 mark, $18.50. So definitely be mindful of this. Very mindful of this, especially on that daily. The daily, weekly, and monthly charts do dictate which way typically the market is going to push through. So just make sure you're paying attention to it. Yeah, and you can see right here that there's nothing here. Absolutely. These are all reactions off of zones. Boom, reaction off of this zone, which was this zone. This is reaction off of this zone, which is a reaction off of this zone, which is then the next spot until this point is really down in this area here. And then after that, we have pretty much a clear sight down to this $10 mark. So there you guys go. Let's check out the next one here. Over here, let's check out Doge, everybody's meme coin, or one of the favorites of many people's meme coin. Check us out. Where are you at, Mr. Doge? There you are. Oh, this chart is crazy on me. What's going on? All right, guys, so let's pull this stuff up here real quick. We'll see what happens here. It looks like again, we bounced off of that 8 moving average on the weekly chart there. Let's go to the monthly here real quick because we are at the new month. And I know I keep regurgitating the same information here, but one of the things I want to make sure that I hit home is most people get too focused on the small time frames and aren't paying attention to the larger time frames. So making sure that you guys are mindful of that. Oh, I did not put in here my 50 moving average. So let me go ahead and put that in here real quick. This is a monthly 50 moving average. It's a pretty strong indicator I like to use. Like I said, it's institutional buying and selling play off of these larger time frames. They do use these, so it's something you need to pay attention to. But as you can see here, we came down into that 50 moving average. Really wasn't anything to the left here, so it's definitely holding us up here. It did hit us, and then we're seeing a rally. So this for Dogecoin we could see a little rally from here, at least up to the weekly 8 moving average here. We do have a supply zone on the daily sitting right here, so something that you need to be mindful of. When it comes here, you can see that it is somewhat respecting our zone that we had right here. So we'll find out here real quick. I am having somebody private message me real quick. One thing about Dogecoin, and I think it's so important, is that Dogecoin really does have a great community. And one thing we can't forget about crypto is that it is crypto community is that will hold a coin up and or cause it to explode. And so we have a juggernaut of a community when it comes to Dogecoin. So make sure you guys are mindful that if the if the community is really getting behind this move, it very much could push things out and really cause us to see a good, a good push up. So if the community gets behind it, always go to the Telegram, see what's going on within the Telegram, see how they're communicating, how they're talking. It's really important. All right, let's go ahead and check here now the daily. Now you guys can see here that again we sold off. Now we came back and we tested this 8. We did ping pong off of the 8 and 20 moving average here. Now if we sell off, this is going to be important for tomorrow, right? If we stay here, we're going to be in between these wicks here. So there's a bunch of sellers, a bunch of buyers sitting here. So and then on top of that, you have that monthly 50 sitting in this direction. So make sure that you're mindful. You just don't look at the smaller time frame. Right? You want to look at the higher time frames so you can see what's going on where the big boys are playing, right? If we come up to this area on the 50 moving average on this, or not 50 moving, but on the 8 moving average and this 20, you can play off of those little movements, right? So if we start to show a trending whatever indicator that you use, you can be able to use that as a way to catch you the next resistance or support area. So those are some of the things that it's important to look at. As we can see here, I'm going to move this, clicking away a little too much. All right, pull this up here. But besides this area here, the next real spot I said is down in this area right here. Now it's interesting, we did come into yesterday's zone. Let's go to that 4-hour zone that we had marked here. Right, from in this area where we did come down, and then we did start to push up. So this area, oh, look at that. I didn't even see that. Yeah, yep. It came right back down into this area right here. I'll point this out here real quick. This was the area in which it actually hit and pushed up. So you can see that. I was looking more or less right in this area. I like to play off of these zones here, right in these midpoints. But this was a good area. This would have been a nice little trade for people to catch. So, yep. There we go. Excellent, guys. All right, so these are some of the areas that I'm looking for to see what the market's going to do. Capture these 4-hour period moving average here is something you need to be paying attention to as well for these 4-hour zones. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to the next crypto. I'm going to check out Polkadot here. I think I'm gonna start putting this stuff in alphabetical order. Polkadot is dot. Polkadot is really at a decent low. I mean, it really is. Wow, it's almost at its very down at its bottom here. So I pay attention to this, guys. Back in 2016, definitely. And even on this last rally back in for 2000, it really didn't have a huge push. So make sure that you guys are paying attention here. From a level, we can see that we're hitting this area right here on a monthly chart. Yeah, this is definitely someplace. You know, I can even say we can easily kind of get through here. It'd be nice to capture a polka dot at these levels right here. Definitely. Here we go, guys. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's pretty crazy. You sit there and see polka dot really move and get down to these lower areas, so it's just pretty nuts. You can see here also that we kind of came and tested it. Now we're coming back and we're testing it again. It's really that first retest of this area here. So we'll see what happens. We're already starting off the month pretty, you know, it came down, sold off, now coming back up. So we'll see what happens. We are at that 8 moving average on that monthly chart right here. Could see another sell-off. So you guys can see this here real quick. This is, if this thing does start to rally, this is where it's typically going to come up to this area here, 44-cent mark here. Right now we're sitting at that, you know, 001 or 11. So be mindful there. Let's check out that weekly. Weekly, really, we're bouncing off that 8 moving average right here. So it hit it pretty good here. Now let's go to that daily. This daily mark here again, it literally came down to that zone and now pushing up, but we did not clear that 8 moving average. Looks like we did pretty much, it is under its direction. So the fact is that we're selling off even more, I think, is more of a negative mindset here. The more I'm looking at it on that daily. And you guys can see here that we have quite a bit of selling going on here. So we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see it come down even further. Very much could. First day of the month, sell off and push back up. We'll find out. I'd love to see this thing go green today. If we see this thing get green, even put in a green hammer off of this area, that would be more of a bullish sign for me. But as of right now, we are, you know, it's looking more bearish than anything. So I give it this heads up. But still, its price tag here, that 007 mark, that's a nice area. It almost doubled itself. So you would have bought right here, you would have made twice as much. So it's pretty nice. Here we go. Let's look at that right here. Next. Let's check out Tron here. See, I got a pretty wide base right here, so we definitely did touch. It's looking like we're bouncing off of that monthly moving average here. So pay attention to that. It's very much a indicator that can it can definitely direct itself. It has a lot of, like I said, it has a lot of buying or selling power in that area. So that's something you need to be paying attention to. There we go. So yeah, pay attention to these areas, guys, on that monthly, because it's looking like it's starting to sell off of that 8 moving average on the daily. We do have a junctional cross here, so making sure that we are, it's probably going to continue down at least to, like I said, some of these areas here down to the 4-cent mark, 4 cent, 2 cent. We'll find out what happens. I know that their USDD or USADD coin is not necessarily the, just because of Terra Luna and what actually happened with Terra Luna, and they're an algorithmic coin. I know that they also have an algorithmic coin. So we'll find out what happens, but I hope that they are able to really back it up fully with real assets. As we see here, and this is the other thing that we can look at, is the racetrack or the slip and slide all the way down here on a monthly. This zone isn't going to hold. This is this weekly zone on here, so we very much could slide all the way down to this area here. So make sure you're mindful of that. Let's check out that weekly. We are hitting that 8 moving average here, as you guys can see, it came up, retraced right into our 8 weekly moving average, and now into the zone where it hit, and now sell off. So we had the monthly 20, then we had on the weekly, we had this sell off here. So came back, we had a retracement back up into our moving averages and a sell off. So that is definitely a very distinct sell off. We had a monthly and a weekly moving average in a down market above the market while the market was moving up. So this would be a good turning point to be able to trade. We look at the weekly, or excuse me, the daily. You can see here on the daily that we did put in a bearish candle in this area. So we'll see what happens. I know it's I think it's the new day, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's a new month for the new day. But I was thinking something else. So this right here is, again, another indication which way we might want to go, because the fact is that it has no buyer wick coming in, right, really, but more it's moving up first. So we very much could see maybe even a turn on from this point, but we'll find out what happens here. Again, this looks pretty similar to the monthly and weekly chart, that we have a clean shot down until we get into this area here, right? Here we go. Let's look at Shiba. All right, so we can see here, we do have our moving Give me 1 second, pull out moving averages monthly. Nothing really there. Right up in here, the only spot that I see. Shiba. A lot of people made a lot of money off of this coin. A lot of people lost a lot of money, especially when this thing had its all-time rally high going to the moon. I was very impressed with its run up. Based off where you got in, you were able to make some pretty good skill, pretty good amount. Go quick. So here's the 8-moving average here. Quick. There we are. So we do have a nice little retracement. This is something to be looking for as a major turning point. Let's go to our weekly. You can see here on the weekly, guys, that we definitely hit that 8-moving average. We came up here last week, hitting the 8-moving average. Then we had a turnover. We actually gapped up into supply. Looks like it could be wrong, but I think we gapped up into supply. That looks like it. And then came up. And now we bounced off this 8-moving average. We, as you can see here, guys, we hit this monthly zone right here. So it was actually pretty clean area. We saw it sell off, and now we're continuing down. Let's check out the daily moving average here. We definitely are bouncing ping pong in between the 28 and 50 moving average. We did have a nice little retracement back into our 4-hour zone here. So we came down, and now we're bouncing off of that 89 moving average here, but also at the same time consolidating down on that 20 moving average. So we'll see who wins here on that 4. But you can see here that we did have some major moving averages in this area. So nice area for you guys to purchase and get in at a good price. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell. All right, guys, thank you so much. I know I try to keep this to a 3-hour show. I know I'm in here for a long period of time, but I just want to give you guys the most value for what I'm doing and to see and make sure that you guys get all your major coins out there, get a decent amount of analysis on it. I've been doing this for a number of years, so I typically I'm pretty good at catching things from a major perspective with turnaround. So thank you so much for coming in. Have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right. I'll probably do a Saturday show on just crypto alone. Kind of go over some of the stuff that we'll do. That's kind of still determined on whether certain things are going to happen. But right now, I am going to try. It's looking more like 40% that I'm not going to be able to do Saturday, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a blessed day. And we'll talk to you guys soon again.